Hello, welcome everybody to the Readings Extravaganza Saturday version, unless you're in the future. Who's all here? Can you hear me all right? How's the sound? Hey, Hannah! Good to see you. Welcome to you. Did you change your photo since yesterday? You did. That's cute. I like it. How are you? Hi, Jerry. You're in Sunday. You are. So it's a Sunday version for you. Jeanette! My dear winter friend, are you out of winter now? I haven't seen. Oh, Jeanette. Oh, it's so good to see you. Oh my God. Yes, so good to see you, dear friend. Hi, Jerry. Good to see you from Long Island. How's the sound? Hi, Thomas. Tell me how the sound is. Future time. You are in the future, Hannah. Can you hear me fine? And can you hear the wheel? Sound is great. Cool. I was having a little bit of technical issues. Can you hear the wheel? Hear that? I don't know why. Sound has been weird since seemed weird to me since arriving. Yeah, it seems off for some reason. I can't quite figure it out. Well, perhaps that's for another time. Anyways, how's everybody? You can hear the wheel, Hannah? Okay, very cool. I'm choosing not to open the drapes today because I got very, very warm yesterday. So hopefully you don't mind having half my face lit by the light in the corner and the other half lit by the light up top. Thomas, I'm so glad to hear you. Hi, Carrie, my good friend Carrie. How are you? Welcome, everybody. Happy Saturday. Happy Sunday. Hello, Nancy. Hi, Linda. So good to see all of my Insight Timer community friends. Today's the Readings Extravaganza, my friends. That means you get to pick what kind of reading you want. Hello, Melinda. So we'll start shortly by getting people's names on the list, like usual, for the wheel. And then we'll let the universe pick with the wheel. And if you get called on by the wheel, you can choose either an energy reading, a channeled message, or an oracle card pull. And my two decks today are the beautiful, oh, trying to get in focus here. There we go. Dragon oracle card deck. And the amazing, come on, there we go, camera. Starseed oracle deck. This one is chock full of amazing energy. Linda, you're getting right on there. Hannah, too. Jeanette, too. All right, we're starting the list, I guess. You guys are in charge. You guys are the boss. Who said first? Jeanette said first. Not that it matters because it's going to get randomized anyways when I spin. And Hannah and Linda. Hannah with the glasses, just in case the other Hannah shows up. Linda. Dragons are the coolest. I love the dragon deck. Melinda. Carrie. Nancy. Jerry. Everybody. Just everybody. Let's just put everybody's name on the list. Is that what you're saying? Very cool. Well, my friends took me to a special breakfast place today called Rushka's. They make these rough Russian, I think they're Russian, um, breakfast. I'd call them a breakfast pastry. It's almost like the Russians' version of an empanada, sort of. But they were these round, they're called chalukas, I think. No, is that? Oh, darn it. Now I can't. Uh, I can't remember. Anyways, they're these delicious filled things with eggs and cheese, sausage, all sorts of stuff. I had a vegetarian one, and I had a sausage, egg, and cheese. Thomas, you on the wheel too? And R. Hello, R. I don't recognize your very short name. You're a little bit scared. Why? Thomas, tell me what's going on. You say you feel great, but yeah, yesterday was intense for your reading was. Linda held back yesterday. I'm about to start painting my foyer, but it's so humid today. The drill is back in its case. That's all right. Remember, you don't need the drill to be powerful, Linda. They're not breakfast burritos. They're these round things, and they're like a pastry. And I'm trying to look it up. Haruskas. They make here it is. Oh my goodness. Kolaches. So there's sweet or savory. So the sweet has cream cheese and different um fruits like blueberry, blackberry, peach, strawberry, raspberry, or cinnamon. And then there's the savory that bacon, egg, and cheese and stuff. And they're literally like, I don't know what they are. Look it up. Kolache. K-O-L. Oh, I'll type it right here. K-O-L-A-C-H. Kolaches. Deliciousness. Absolute deliciousness. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. Thomas says somebody sent me a link to the Shock the Money by Monkey by Peter Gabriel. Yeah, that's a great song. I love that. Yes. So, oh, I get it right because the monkey in your head shocked the monkey. Oh, that's whoever sent you that is quite clever and quite kind in that way. I've been tending to the monkey, me and inner child today, and received such beautiful energy in a group set. Yay! I love that. Monkey's happy, grateful, and part of the mind is curious. Yay! Very cool. Yeah, Linda's been drilling again. Cool. All right, let's see. So I have Jeanette, Hannah with the glasses, Linda, Melinda, Carrie, Nancy, Jerry, Thomas, R. Who did I miss that wants to get on the list for a reading today? Please do speak up, my friends. Hello and welcome to anyone who recently joined. This is my readings extravaganza where everybody has a chance at a reading. And then you get to pick. If you get chosen, you get to pick. You can have an energy reading, an oracle card pull, or a channeled message. On Wednesday, I was surprised because everybody chose channeled message and it was a lot of fun. Embrace the monkey. Yes. I almost had you hug that monkey last night, Thomas. Kolacha. And check out kolachas. They're delicious. You love that you're Hannah with the glasses? Okay. Well, you are for today until you get rid of your glasses or something. I'm glad you did, Thomas, because the monkey is just part of you that possibly needs just a little extra love and support. Yeah, Linda, I agree. Anything made in a pastry is yum. It's too bad I can't share links with you guys because they'll get removed right away. But I am telling you, these are like round balls of deliciousness. And they're kind of a bread. Maybe I need to look up what a kolache is for you guys. Kolaches are, oh, get a load of this. They're from the Czech and Slovak kolak is a type of sweet pastry that holds a portion of fruit surrounded by puffy yeast dough. Commonly filling flavors include Tavara, fruit jam, poppy seeds, or Pravidia. Oh, interesting. Yeah, look it up. Look it up online if you want to see a picture of it. They're quite yummy, and this place was amazing. Anyways, enough about food. I'm still thinking about it because we enjoyed ourselves very muchly. You just looked it up, Linda? Okay, very cool. Yeah, if you ever get out here to Utah near Provo, American Fork, Haruskas with an H to start. Well, I'm happy to be here today. I'm so happy you're all here. Let's get the wheel rolling. Does anyone else want to be added for a list? Thank you, Carrie. I feel really good. I feel different out here. My body feels better. I walk around barefoot. I wear t-shirts and shorts and I'm not all bundled up. I miss my virtual backgrounds, but I'm happy to be here in natural normal light. I did, Jeanette. I'm closer to you now. Let's see how this looks. Hold on. See, I'm wearing shorts. This is gonna warm it up a little bit, but oh yeah, that's gonna be hot. I'm closing them. So much for that idea. Aaron, I'd be happy to add you to the list. Yeah, it's not a question of time with me. I put it on a spin the wheel app and the universe decides. So everybody gets a chance. Yeah, Jeanette, I'm in Utah for a couple months staying with friends before I make my big move while I look for work from home work, remote work to finance the business and the move to the Canary Islands. That's right, friends. I said Canary Islands. Hello, Inga. Hi, Gary. I'm going to add Gary. Anybody else before I spin? Got a good feeling about today's live, my friends. Good feeling. All right, we're going to spin. Yeah, manifesting wonderful plans. I like how you said that, Jeanette. I've missed you, Jeanette. It's so good to see you here. And guess who just got chosen? Jeanette. Jeanette, you're up. I have to figure out the sounds so that you guys can hear the full beauty of the ticks and the applause. Yay, Jeanette. How can I be of service to you today? What guidance do you seek and what kind of reading do you want? Energy reading, oracle card pull, or a channeled message? Round and round it goes, Carrie says. Round and round it goes. Yes, much abundance. You could hear the applause? Okay, good. It's just weird for me because the mic here is really good. And when I was with the laptop back in Rochester, I had the mic in a different position. So, and then because it was quieter there, I didn't have a fan of stuff. It's just different. That's all. As long as you guys can hear it and are happy with it, we're all good. Channeled message, please. Okay. What is your question, topic, intention? Do you have one? What would you like guidance around, my friend? Hmm. Hello, Heidi. Good to see you. Oh, you're not too late. There's no such thing as late in my lives because everybody gets a chance at a reading and we all have fun. Hello, Ella. What is your picture? Those watermelons? Oh, they're watermelons. How cute. All right, Jeanette says, need help believing in worthiness of abundance. Okay. Let's see what we got for you, my friend. Dear guides, please me up to a message for Jeanette. Wow, I'm getting a lot of energy coming in right away, Jeanette, and like, oh, this is beautiful. Okay, so wow. So I'm tingling actually. My head's tingling, my heart's tingling, some of my parts of my arms are tingling. This is a very similar feeling that I get when I tap into um, a truly connected sense of abundance. And the very first word that came through for you, Jeanette, and understand that I'm I'm sensing energies, and then a word comes in, right? And this was a huge energy, right? And so this word will make sense. The word is oneness, Jeanette. So here's the reason why this word is important. It's so easy for us to think of ourselves as separate from everything else, right? It is it is very, our culture is built around the myth of separation, right? And so this is a very much a blockage in the crown center, right? Is this myth that we are separate from everything else. And so the oneness is super, super important because, something I learned a couple of months ago was, if I want to tap into the sense of abundance, there's two main things to think about. And then make basically two main ways that I can focus my mind, focus the monkey, as Thomas was experiencing last night. The first is looking for evidence of it in nature. And there's a very simple way that I started doing for that when I went on my morning walks. Think about how many blades of grass are in your front lawn. There's probably hundreds or thousands, tens of thousands of blades of grass in your front lawn, unless you don't have a front lawn or live in with a very small front lawn. But then think about your backyard. Think about all the other yards and lawns in the neighborhood. Think about all the fields in your local area. Think about all of the parks. Think about all of the areas where there aren't even houses in your city, in your region, in your county, in your country. And then think about all the different countries across the entire world. And like, it's impossible to count all those blades of grass. That is evidence of abundance, right? Then there's another thing that you can focus on, and that is looking for evidence of the cyclical flow, the cyclical nature of abundance, right? Because I said money, but if your worthiness is around money, right? Because abundance just is, right? So for us to think that we're unworthy, which happens. I get it. I've been there. I have faced it. I've struggled with it a lot. It still comes up. It's just a thing. But for us to think that we're unworthy is us forgetting that we are part of that abundance. Think of all the cells in our body. I don't even know how many cells. I'm not very scientific and I haven't looked it up. How many cells are in the human body? Then think about all the neurons, electrons, and all the other things. And then think about the amount of space that is in each and every single atom in our body. There's a vast amount of room when we look at the atoms, right? I remember this from high school. When we actually look at an atom, you've got whatever the thing that's called in the center, the nucleus, right? And then you have the electrons out here. And if we were to blow that up proportionately to us as human size, as opposed to just an atom, there would be a vast amount of space between the nucleus and the electrons. And even space is abundant. When we think about space between the planets, there's just so much of it. So abundance is inherently natural in everything, except we don't perceive it that way when we think that we're separate. So the oneness is really, really important. And that's why the myth of separation up here is such a huge block. So really, Jeanette, it's like, remember when you used to share you might still do this, but I haven't seen them in a while because I haven't looked in some of the groups that we're in together, but you used to share those beautiful descriptions of the winter scenery around your house, remember? And in that moment, you're witnessing the abundance. You're witnessing it in a way that you are being reminded of the oneness of everything, reminded of your connectedness to it, right? And you so deeply appreciate that. And then you're so beautiful in your expressiveness with the description, right? Like, how can you not be at least tapping into on even a minimal level and feeling the connectedness of everything? But it really all boils back down into the oneness, right? We are one with abundance. Abundance isn't something, it's not that tit for tat. It's not that I do this and you do that. That's why it's one of the reasons I've recently changed how I talk about donations in my lives. I know that, when I first started my lives in December, I used one of the common phrases that a lot of the teachers use, and they talk about, if you feel like offering an energetic exchange. Well, that didn't quite work for me because that's, for me, mentally, just the way that I perceive things. That's no different than, here, you give me some money and I give you a box of Oracle cards. Okay, cool. That is an exchange. Truly, it is an exchange. But what the concept of an exchange misses out on is that there is a flow and a cyclical nature to that very energy. Energy cannot be destroyed. Scientists have even declared this. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed or transmuted. So what does that mean? Well, there was a time at which I used to make $65 an hour and was working nonstop 40, 50 hours a week and making massive amount of money. But at the same time, I was also massively in debt. And just to stay afloat, I was barely scraping by. Right. And so at that time, I was completely disconnected and didn't even know about the way that abundance relates in terms of oneness and connectedness. And I had no clue about the cyclical and flowing nature of abundance. But I can sit here 20 years later and look back and get upset and be like, I used to make all that money. Where did it go? I don't have it anymore. It's gone. Right? That's a lie. That's a myth. I'm not separate from it. It went somewhere. I may not have it in the bank anymore, but it went somewhere. Where did it go? It went to you guys, or maybe it went to some other people. It still exists though. So we're never really separate from any of this. The other aspect of the flow, the cyclical flow, is think about a fruit tree, right? During the winter, there's no fruit. As the spring comes in, the leaves develop, the blossoms come out, the fruit starts to, blossoms are blooming, then the fruit is starting to be formed. And then people come in the summer and they harvest it. And then whatever isn't harvested in the fall starts to fall on the ground, and the fruit nourishes the ground, right? The fruit some of the fruit that's harvested, the good fruit, that goes and nourishes people or animals somewhere in the world, right? And then what happens? Whatever falls to the ground is back in the earth and refeeds the tree. And what happens in the next year? The winter, the tree dies. And then the spring, the tree comes back and starts to bloom and blossom and create fruit again. There's a cyclical flowing nature to the abundance of that tree, and that is no different for us as humans. It's true for our health. It's true for our finances. It's true for our relationships. It's true for everything. And at the root of all of that is understanding and looking for and really, really feeling in our hearts the oneness. So there's your reading, my friend. What are you guys saying? I saw the chat like whipping by. I have to like hold the scroll button so I don't. Oh, Peter, you're here. Hi, Peter. Good to see you, my dear. Tatiana made it. Wow, everybody's coming in. Fantastic. Jeanette, where's your comments? Chills. Okay, fantastic. Hannah, oh, wow. I had a dream this morning where I was told there is only one. Big synchronicity. Very, very cool. Poverty mindset for me, Thomas said, is hard to shake. Yeah, because of separation. It's because of the myth of separateness. Peter, wow, comment deleted. Yes, I do, Gary. Oh, okay. Talking to Gary. And I'm watching a beautiful sunrise in Tasmania. Sunrise always brings hope to me. Yeah, connecting with that as well, if that's something that brings you joy. Abundance in and around us. Yeah. Very cool, Jeanette. Okay, connectedness and oneness. Thomas says, so we think we need loads of money to be connected and achieve dreams, yet we can do a lot for free. It's not even about for free. It's that we are this abundance. That's the whole point of the oneness. We are this abundance. There is one love. There is one massive field of love, life force, energy, source, spirit. We're never, ever, ever disconnected from any of that, except when we let our minds run the show. Hello, Mira. Good to see you. It's not even about I mean, yes, there's a lot we can do for free, but again, you're getting into the dichotomy, the binary thinking. There's either free or there's a cost. Well, even free is abundant. Even a cost of something is, it's like, why make the stipulation? Sure, if you want to be frugal and save money, I love to do that. So we can look for free things. What am I missing? You guys are talking so fast. There is enough for all, Jeanette. Yes. It just is. Yeah. And I have to remind myself all the time. So I really thank you for your question, Jeanette. Carrie says there's enough for everything. Always, it never ends. Yeah. Jeanette loved the story about fruit trees, dying leaves, dying trees. Yeah. And that's, I mean, how can everything else not be cyclical? Nature's cyclical. Even our skin is cyclical, my friends. Skin gets replaced, hair grows in, right? Things grow in, and then like that's why we have to cut our nails because they keep expanding, right? We have to cut our nails, right? We have to trim our hair and cut our hair regularly, unless of course we've lost all of it, which is a thing, right? So even our body is evidence of the cyclical nature of life. I feel like abundance relates to quality of relationships too. Absolutely, Linda. There's just abundance of everything. If you're watching the news, you're not going to see evidence of the abundance of all the goodness in the world, right? If you're reading the news. But what, just think about it. In this very moment, here we are. How many people? 56 people. There are billions of other people on the planet doing something other than being in our life right now. Are we in charge of what they're doing? No, but they're doing it. It's happening. There is an abundance of activity. There's abundance of feelings. There's an abundance of thoughts, right? It all comes down to which ones we choose, which ones we want to focus on. There's an abundance of them. And sometimes I think about, I wonder if we could ever count all the acts of kindness that are happening right in this very moment, just on this planet. All the acts of kindness. How many people, how many gentlemen are there right now holding a door for a young woman or an elderly woman? How many people are smiling at somebody, right? Of the billions on the planet. Just thinking about that blows my mind and makes me realize how abundant life just really is, even just thinking about those things. Ella is appreciating the reminder. We as a culture are so heavy focused on cost and measurement. Yeah, absolutely. Again, oneness was the first thing that came through for you, Jeanette. And its reason it's important is because let me see what they're saying. They're wanting to remember, they wanted you to remember that you are one with everything, and that to not, how do I say that? To believe in your isness, to believe in your oneness with everything instead of the myth of being separate. That's the main thing. How is that, my dear? Is that good for you? Yeah, Jeanette, abundance of love, joy, compassion, kindness, energy, growth, nature. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, power tools count too. Jerry's stuck in a loop of abundant negativity. Oh, are you being silly? Oh, no, you're not. You have a sad face. Well, Jerry, it just means that you're in the habit of practicing a lot of thoughts that are generating that negativity. You have the power to change that. There's a lot that maybe need to be done for you. Okay, Jeanette, you're welcome, my dear. So good to see you. All right, I'm ready to spin again. Who else wanted to be on the wheel? Anyone come in recently that wants to get on the wheel? Heidi, okay, absolutely. Nicole, wonderful. Ella, okay. Pineapple, oh no, watermelon, Ella. Tatiana, okay, we're getting a nice big list here. You're welcome, Heidi. Yosef, did I say it right? Soft J or hard J? Oh, great. I'm glad you like that, Jeanette. Trust, my friend. That's the other big thing. Just trust. I know it's hard. I have my doubts at times. Earlier this week, Thursday was a rough day. I did some job searching and I found one thing to apply to. It took an hour and then I kept looking and I got really, really discouraged. And my mind started to think this is never going to happen. Whoa, 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 wait a minute. That's just the mind wanting to happen right this minute. I haven't even been in Utah a full week. Like I was on the train at this time last weekend. I was on the train still. I had just left Chicago. Had I? I'm still in Chicago a week ago, right? So I haven't even been here for a week, and I'm gonna have this moment of panic and doubt, of course, because I'm human, of course, because my ego, my mind, my inner child was looking for evidence, for assurances, for guarantees in the moment, and then when they didn't see it, when the mind didn't see it, it got scared that it will never happen in the future because in the past, when it didn't see it, it didn't happen in the future. But that was an old me. That was an old me with less understanding and less connection and less community than I have now. So it's really, it's like one of our number one priorities as spiritual seekers to, and that's not control the mind, but to monitor it, to use the mind as it really in its true gifts, right? To solve a problem at work, to focus on a mantra, on a song, on a chakra during meditation, right? It is the mind is so good at focusing on things. But when we let it focus on the future and things that we don't have control over or an understanding of, then it gets out of control. Yeah. So that's a lot. Let's get on. Let's see what you're saying. Wow, need to hear that, Heidi said. Thanks for sharing. You are welcome, my dear. Kimmy's here. Count me in, Universe and Greg. Yes. Kimmy, did you want to be on the list? Is that what you're saying? Thank you, Nicole. I appreciate you saying good luck on the search. You guys are talking a lot today, so it's hard to keep up. Yay. Okay, let's see what else. We human very well. We do. We human very, very well, Carrie. Thomas says, wow, Greg, resonance big time. New, allowing, new to break. Yeah, love it, Thomas. Absolutely. Jeanette, I listen to powerful mantras in our group, and boy, it brings up the beauty of our resilient yet vulnerable souls. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. All right, spinning the wheel, my friends. Oop, I'm going to shuffle. We are very human, but we are not human. We're having a human experience, but we're really spirit. We're source. We're source manifested in a human body so that we can experience the contrast of this earth school in order to help grow and expand the entire universe. Every single time we identify what we don't want, we are asking the universe for what we do want, and the universe is expanding. Every single time we are feeling sad and find a way back to happiness, we are helping the universe expand. And by expand, that means raising and raising and raising the vibration. It means a lot of different things. Linda, you're up. Jeanette, I'm so glad you're here. It is so good to see you. And Linda, you are the next contestant on the wheel of good guidance. Linda's still here. I don't know why I keep leaning forward. I have to see. Carrie says, we are divine beings having a human experience. Yes, exactly. Thomas, Jerry sending divine energy for whatever you need. Yes, let's all hold Jerry in our hearts. Linda, yes way. Yes way. You got chosen. Linda Paloma. Oh, warm in here. I'm warm, but you know what? I'd rather be warm than cold. So let us swing it. What kind of reading do you want, Linda dear? Channeled message, energy reading, or an oracle card pull? You choose. You choose. Practice using your intuition, my friend. Close your eyes. Place your hands on your heart if it helps. Tap your heart and say, heart, teach my mind, whatever works. And just feel deep inside which of the three holds your message for guidance today. And I encourage all of you to do this. It's really important that we exercise that muscle of intuition as much as we can. Energy reading, fantastic. Matthew, did you want to get on the list? I don't take random questions in chat. I make sure that the wheel picks people. But if you want, I can get you on the list if you'd like, Matthew. All right, Linda, do you have it? No, you want me to wing it with an energy reading? All right, let's see what we got. Well, of course, the first thing that I saw was purple flowers. That's funny. But I also saw, I had this feeling of like, you know how like when a doggy has that curious look and it sort of cocks its head and it turns its ears, kind of like listening and going like, huh, hmm? Yeah, I kind of had that. Like you have this curious slash quizzical energy, um, whimsical, like a curious, whimsical. Guys in circles. That's the energy. Yeah, and there's I'm not getting a lot of specifics, but there's a huge energy. I feel like I'm just getting so many symbols. I'm having trouble sorting it out, but there's a feeling of expansion I'm getting, Linda, and I got so many different symbols, so I'll just share them all. So at one point I saw first I saw a purple flower, and then I saw a bunch of purple flowers. And then at another point I saw as though you were like an angel who had just earned their wings. And the wings, like I don't know if you've ever seen an animation of wings unfolding, like they're folded usually out behind the shoulder blades, and then they just unfold and like even just there's just a majesty to them. And I felt like this reaching out. And then another symbol I got was of this large egg that you were like, your energy was like had pecked through and was beginning to emerge out of it. So just a lot of different, I mean, a lot of abundant feeling energy, Linda. And yeah, just this real sense of expansion. And then of course I got this image of a person or not really so much a dog, but a person sort of just cocking its head to the side and just being kind of like, hmm, and not in like a not in a bad way. There was a very neutral, very curious, very kind of wonder, I wonder, right? I don't know if any of this is resonating. Let's see. Talk to us, Linda. What's resonating? How are you feeling? That's super cool. I need to run with it. It's a bit surprising. Yeah, let me see what else is there. I mean, you're really on some sort of a threshold. I'm not getting the specifics on what it is, but you're it's not so much a decision as it is. I mean, I think this relates to what you were sharing last time of the shift that you've been going through. Yeah, I'm definitely getting this sense that there's this threshold, and I'm not exactly sure what the threshold is yet, but I'm seeing you actually right in the middle of the threshold. So right, if this were a doorway, right, like right here, there's lots of different ways, states of being present with the doorway, right? We might be on this side, not quite touching the handle, maybe not even reaching for the handle. We might have the door open, with our hand on the handle, but we haven't actually approached the threshold of the door, right? We might be partially through the threshold. We might be on the other side and not having closed the door behind. There's a lot of different relationships there. And what I'm seeing is you standing right in the doorway and just standing in it. And you're not in like the middle of a walking stance or anything. You're just standing there. And there's like so much beautiful light and gloriousness. There's just so much gloriousness and wonderment, like right in front of you. And I feel like you're standing at this doorway and you're just taking it in and you're just like, Wow. Did I really say yes to this? Wow. What is going to unfold? I really wonder what is going to unfold now. So it feels like you made some sort of a decision or a shift or had a breakthrough or something really potent recently that you could say was akin to reaching for the door and opening it and then moving into the threshold. And you're just stopped at this threshold, and in wonderment and curiosity, you're just sitting there taking it all in. And you don't know what's next. You don't know what this beautiful space you're moving into really holds for you, but you can feel it and you can see it. And so there is this in the moment sense of wonder. It does sound exciting, doesn't it, Kimmy? Linda, how is that? I'm not really feeling it, but I need to open my mind. Okay, what part aren't you feeling, my friend? Like a butterfly emerging from a cocoon. Yeah, about to bloom, Peter. I agree. Talk to me, Linda. What are you not really feeling? Let me see if there's anything else for you. So I just took a message and they're saying you're not alone, Linda. Paloma. You're not alone. Again, it's interesting. Jeanette with the oneness and the comments I made about the myth of separation, and now you get a you're not alone message. And again, that ties back to the oneness and the myth of separation. You're not alone. You have made a decision in regard to a relationship. Well, if you feel comfortable and willing, please do tell us about that. I guess part of what I'm getting is, and this is coming through for a reason, so I don't know what the reason is, but I'm just going to share it. What is it like when you're standing in the middle of a doorway and a threshold, right? And you don't know what's coming next. There is a call when you have the wonderment of it, right? We have these moments in time where we get to choose our perspective. And actually, that's every minute of every day. We have the power of choosing our perspective of how we view things. So you could be standing in this doorway and be looking out into this bright, glorious, whatever it is in front of you, and be choosing to ignore it. You could be choosing to power your way through it. You could be choosing to get lost in other thoughts about the past, right? You could be choosing to obsess about what's going to happen in the future. Or, as I saw or felt, you could just be while standing in the doorway and just observing and looking and be like, ah, here I am. I've made this decision. I've had this breakthrough. I've had a shift. Here I am. I'm leaving the old and I'm just standing in the middle ground looking at the new. And I don't know what to make of it, but I'm about to step into it. Lynn Gary says, Linda, I'd probably get a similar message. Any of this making sense, my dear? It doesn't always have to make sense. Perhaps it'll make sense later. Us, Linda, not quite sure either, but I'll keep you posted. Okay. I think it's just the encouragement to keep an open mind and remember that you have control over your perspective. Yes, you're welcome. All right. Who wants to get on the list before I spin again? Please say so in chat. Nicole. I already have another Nicole. So what's your last initial, Nicole? Nicole S. Wonderful. Thank you. Who else? Ah, Linda says I'm going to pick Gary next. I don't pick. The wheel does. Last call for getting on the list for readings right now. Okay, we're going to spin. Can always get on afterwards. Yeah, Matthew, did you wanna? Oh my God, Linda, you're kidding me. It's Nancy, but it was this far from Gary. That's really interesting. Nance, are you still here, dear? While we're waiting for her, I just want to thank all of you for being here today with me and with all of us. I love having you here. Please do consider following me. I invite you to do that if you haven't done that yet. It's a great way to get notified about future lives, and I do have some new things coming up in July, hopefully. Also, if you feel so called, if you're finding any of the information coming through, any of the guidance or any of the readings really speaking to you, I do love seeing donations come in. It's just fun for me. It's like a form of celebrating the cyclical nature of abundance. And I honor when somebody shares it with me, and then I get to go share it with somebody else. And it really is just one big celebration for me. Also, if you are so inclined, I love connecting outside of Insight Timer as well. You can do so through a number of the links in my link tree, and you can find that in the About section of my teacher's profile. I've got socials. I record all my videos or my lives, and I put the replay up on YouTube, which is great if you're ever wanting to go through things and rewatch. And then I have lots of other ways to contact me, including private sessions, etc. Hopefully soon with the new direction that the Insight Timer is hoping to take. Hopefully a lot of that will be available through the app as well. And again, just thank you so much for being here. I love having people come together who are on the path of the heart and who are courageously and vulnerably seeking guidance from source. So thank you for being here. Nancy wants a channeled message. And what is your topic or question, my friend? Andrea, hello, welcome. I'm late to your wonderful live, so I don't know the choices. Oh, yes, let me do explain. For those who are new, um, this is the readings extravaganza. Everybody has a chance to get a reading. I put everybody in a spin the wheel app, which I love the sounds of. And that way the universe gets to pick who is chosen for the reading. And then you can choose between an energy reading, an oracle card pull, or a channeled message. The oracle decks I'm using today are the Dragon Oracle card deck, and that is from Diana Cooper. She is amazing. And then Rebecca Campbell's Star Seeds Oracle deck. Oh, trying to get, oh, come on, camera. It's a little fuzzy. Sorry, there we go. Star Seeds Oracle deck. So those are the Oracle card choices. Thank you, Jerry. I honor and respect and appreciate you sharing your abundance with me. I send it back with love and gratitude. Thank you so much. All right, what did we have here? Channel message for Nancy. And I'll just add Andrea really quick before I forget. Or is it Andrea? So many different ways to say people's names. Yes, Linda, getting in touch with your intuition. Very important that if we are wanting to grow on the path to the heart, practicing as much exercising that muscles for and tools and games and exercises for growing our intuition. Super, super important. Greg, I think you should count being close. Yeah, Gary, that's funny. Yay, Greg, site of web. Yes, indeed. I'm yaygreg.com if you want to go to it easily. All right. Nancy says, seeing multiple angel numbers each day. Is there any message for me? Wondering if I have blockages too, which might hinder my self Reiki. Yes, absolutely. Okay, I'm going to add Shayla. Everybody wants to be on the wheel. All right, Nancy, let's see what we got, my dear. Nance, just close your eyes for me, my friend. And let's just connect together. Dear guides, sir, close heaven, please open me to a message for Nancy. Nancy, they are so happy and pleased with all the work that you've been doing on yourself. They really, really honor the challenges that you've been through, but they also understand they understand how that hasn't been easy necessarily for you, but they want you to, it's not so much want, they're inviting you to really be mindful about how you choose what you look at, how you choose your perspective, how you choose what you think about. So when you're seeing these angel numbers, I mean, my personal belief around angel numbers is that they mean whatever we want them to mean. So for me, they've been a wonderful reminder when I see duplicate numbers like 1111 or 222 or anything like that. They've been a reminder to me of one very simple message, that all is well, that all manner of things is well, that everything is well, that I'm okay, that I'm safe. But mostly it's just I see it and I think all is well. In this case, you get to determine what they mean and their significance to you. But the message I'm getting from my guides and from the Circle of Seven is specifically around mindfully choosing what you focus on. Mindfully choosing what you focus on. So when you're getting up in the morning, are you conscious and aware of what you're thinking about? It's very easy, particularly in the morning or as we sit down to do a task that we're used to, or when we sit down to do a task that we aren't really very interested in or excited about. It's very easy to get in sort of a robotic, automatic sort of mode. Are you waking up in the morning and are you looking and thinking, not thinking, are you looking at your thoughts and saying, I don't like that thought today. I'm gonna try and focus on something else, right? So it's this notion of, okay, what's the other thing? The other thing is just this reminder that, okay, this is interesting. This goes back to Jeanette's reading. The myth of separation, one of the end results, one of the outcomes is thinking that we don't have any control over anything, is forgetting the connection that we have with our minds and our hearts, and either not understanding or forgetting the relationship between the mind and the heart. So when we're thinking something, okay, and I just got the message that this is for you too, Jerry, so that when you're thinking something, the way you know, right, the thoughts, we have complete allowance as human beings, as divine spirits having a human experience. We have 100% allowance to choose and think, to choose to think about whatever we want. How do we know when a thought is a beneficial one for us or not? It's really simple. It's our emotions. If we are feeling bad about any topic in our life, and bad could be scared, anxious, nervous, afraid, depressed, sad, angry, um, anything that's uncomfortable, any emotional discomfort, it and it just simply means one thing. It's an indicator that the way that we're thinking is not through the eyes of love, is not with alignment of source. We're not in alignment of source when we feel bad, period. So what do? Normally, most human beings wait until the scenario, situations, conditions, and circumstances change. Well, what happens when we're holding on to this bad feeling and we're forgetting that we are source, that we have the power of choice of what to think about? We can choose to think something differently, think meaning focus on something differently, and we can do so in a way that helps us feel incrementally better. And when we begin to get incrementally better in our feelings, what we're doing is we're raising our vibration. We're getting more and more in alignment. And when you get a whiff of hope after changing and checking out how you're thinking, when you get a whiff of hope, it's not that much more difficult to go from hope to contentment to joy to appreciation to love. But getting out of the difficult emotions, the discomfort of some of those emotions, is really just a simple matter, not simple. I mean, it's simple, but not always easy. It's a simple matter of choosing where we focus. And so this is one of the outcomes of the myth of separation, that we forget that we are source and that we have the ability to choose. Jeanette says, when I see numbers, I give thanks and acknowledge the reminder that I'm not alone. I only have to ask for guidance and help. Greg, today my truck showed 888-555. That's hilarious. Nancy, how is this resonating, my friend? The hindering of the self Reiki. Let me see if they have anything to say about that. Yeah, they're just saying to do something like the love bomb, or find a way to focus on love, or even just feeling incrementally better in some way. And as you do that, as you begin to have this regular mindfulness about where you're focusing your thoughts, your self Reiki will flow better because you're in a higher vibration. Does that make any sense? All right, Nancy's saying, yes, resonates. I'm working on the things you said. Mindfulness, yes. Okay. The other piece that, as you say that, that comes through, when we, how do I say this? Help me out here, guys. Personally, I think that it's important that mindfulness not feel like a chore or a task, not feel like something on a to-do list. I think the essence of mindfulness comes down to wanting, let's see. Well, for myself, which is really, I can only speak to that in my own experience. For myself, I'm always sort of wanting mindfulness to be like breathing. Yes, it is something that I have to sometimes steer myself in that direction, but it's not a thing of effort. It's not like we're on a boat in a river and we're trying to paddle against the current and thinking mindfulness is up the river. Mindfulness is up the river. No, mindfulness is much more like, where am I? I'm in a boat. Well, what does the boat want to do? It wants to float. That's the nature of a boat, is to float unless too much water gets in it. Okay, where would I float in a boat on a river flowing in one direction? Well, the easiest thing to do would be to allow the boat to put the oars down and allow the boat to flow. And well, why do I have oars? Well, I have oars in order to steer the boat so that I don't crash on rocks while I'm going with the flow. Oh, so mindfulness is sort of like being present with the truth of what is in the moment, and then using the oars to steer the boat instead of using the oars to push the boat upstream in a predetermined direction. Does that make any sense? I like that analogy a lot. Shayla says, the threshold and butterfly wings resonate with me. I just had a baby and I'm about to launch a new art school. My life has taken a very positive turn and I'm wondering what I need to know. All, are you asking a question, Sheila? You do need to wait till your wheel calls on you, my dear. I can't just take questions randomly in chat, but I do support the seeking for that. I need to know, to remember in order to enter this new phase of life in alignment with love. Yes, absolutely. All right, Jeanette, mindfulness is being present in the moment. Thank you, Jeanette. You made it short and sweet, but it's also a piece of mindfulness for me is recognizing our tools, right? Our learning our tools and when to use them, our spiritual tools, that is. Yes, it does sound really exciting for Shayla, doesn't it, Hannah? I love that. All right, Nancy, when I do Reiki, it feels good, not a chore. So that must be good. I agree. It sounds like you're going with the flow in that case. Yeah. But if you're starting to do your Reiki on yourself and you're feeling like there's a struggle, that's the immediate sign that not necessarily that you have a blockage, but that you're out of alignment in some small way or some large way. And then the size of out of alignment doesn't really matter. All that matters is you recognizing and being mindful. Oh, it's kind of, I feel like I'm efforting with the Reiki. I feel like I'm paddling upstream with the Reiki. Let me try to find a more flowing state of mind, a more flowing state of spirit, and then let me try the self Reiki again. Does that make sense? I mean, that's how I would approach it. I don't know a lot about Reiki. Awesome. Nancy, do you need any more clarification around that? Any questions? Okay, you don't struggle. It feels warm and it feels good. So that message must have been for somebody else then. Oh, okay. It doesn't quite work that way, Shayla, but I do appreciate you sharing with us. Yeah. So it's very hard for me to scroll back and look at a question if you do get called on in that way. Yeah. But hi, Saeed. Nice to see you. You're new here. Welcome. Welcome. We're doing readings and everybody has a chance to get a reading. Hey, Joanne, welcome. You managed to get here for the last 30 minutes. Yes, we are moving quite along. All right. Everybody has a chance at a reading. I use the Spin the Wheel app. So I'm going to call one last time for anyone who wants to get on the list, on the wheel of good guidance. So if you do, just say yes, please, or me, please, or whatever in the chat, and we'll add the last few people to the list. We already have 17 entries. This is going to spin quite a lot. Yes, Joanne, no problem. I had a feeling you're going to say that. You're welcome, Nancy. She says a teacher here had said that if someone is blocked, Reiki doesn't work as good. And honestly, I like I said, I don't know a lot about Reiki, but I do feel like I understand energy pretty well, and I understand meditation really well. And you know what? There's times I've sat and meditation and I've struggled. And there's times I've sat and it's just flowed. And the reality is, at the end of the day, if I don't pass judgment on the struggle, and if I don't assign better to the flowed, then I'm getting the benefit of meditation, whether I struggle or whether I flow. So if the Reiki isn't quite feeling right, luckily for you, it's been, good. Um, but anything is anything's good, really. I think that's the right perspective. Is anything's good. Even a struggle can be good. We can even learn from struggling in meditation or struggling with mindfulness or struggling with any of our spiritual practices. It's when the mind, the monkey and all that gets in there and goes like, I'm doing it wrong, or this isn't going to work, or I'm not going to get a benefit. You know what? If I sit for when I first started meditating, I sat for 20 minutes, and for the first 18 minutes, my mind just raced. But I kept coming back to what I was focusing on. And for the last 2 minutes, in those first few months, for the last 2 minutes, I felt peace and serenity. And eventually, I got to a point where I wasn't struggling with that as much, but it still comes back. I could be busy thinking about my job search or about something I'm doing in a video game or about a crush that I might have or about this move or what. I can get obsessed just like all of us. It's fine. It's good. Just have a loving allowance for it to be exactly as it is. So my meditation wasn't so great the other day. So my sleep wasn't so great the other day. So whatever the topic, my friends, loving allowance for all things to be in their own time and place, starting with ourselves. Let's not keep beating ourselves up with all the judgment and all the qualifications and all the assignments of good, bad, and whatever. You know, it's all good. It is about intention, surely, Peter says. Hi, Chantel. Good to see you. Just listening while you're clearing your garage. That sounds fun. All right, my friends, we're going to spin the wheel again. Does anyone? That makes sense. Oh, Nancy had a breakthrough. She said which is the first half of aha. Very good. I love that for you, Nancy. Amen, says Heidi. Mindfulness, says Kimmy. Letting go in the now. Peaceful, loving. Hannah, keep at it, Nancy. Your flow will come back. I think you're there, Nancy. You're just letting your mind intercede instead of listening to your heart and you know energy. I mean, you do Reiki. You know what it feels like. Don't trust that. Trust the feeling, my friend. Alrighty. Saeed, I'm preparing to take teacher of English as a foreign language. Wow. My mind, because I can't speak what I have in my mind. Why? Oh, well, Saeed, I can add you to the list, but I don't take random questions in chat. So we do this by using a special way, but I will add you to the list. It never left. Exactly, Nancy. Heart Teach My Mind, Peter says. Absolutely. Love bomb that, Nancy. Yeah. I think Heart Teach My Mind would be a better tool for Nancy. I mean, just having met with her in a private and over time, over many months. Nancy, I think the Heart Teach My Mind track, if you haven't listened to it before, I definitely recommend it. And of course, that's just a suggestion. I'm not attached to being right or wrong about any of this. You're welcome, Nancy. Saeed, I'm excited for you. Teacher of English as a foreign language would be super, super cool. I love that. All right, I'm going to spin the wheel again. Last call for names. We only have about 20 minutes left. Yeah, working on hard stuff. That's why we're here. We're here together on the path to the heart, my friends, because the heart is our portal. The heart is our portal to the future of the evolution of the planet, to our growth spiritually. Yep. And the heart has the entire picture of our lives. The mind can only see as far as the headlights in front of a car, but the heart sees the whole, every single chapter, past, present, future, and all our lives. Yay. All right, spinning the wheel. This may be the last reading, or depending on how quick it is, the second last reading. Melinda. Melinda is next. Oh, thank you, Saeed. He says, I wish all you calm, peace, and a real love. Amen to that, brother. Joanne says, just about showing up at the biggest achievement. Yeah. Linda says, oh my goodness. Nancy, thank you so much for your donation. I really appreciate you sharing your abundance with me. I honor and respect it. And I promise that I will share it with somebody else as well out in the world. Remember that cyclical honor and celebrate the cyclical flow of abundance. All right, Melinda. I had an intuition that it would be me. I love that for you. What can I do for you, my dear? How may I be of assistance? What guidance do you seek? And what kind of reading would you like? Yay, Melinda, Kimmy says. I need to keep trusting my intuition, and that is a perfect sign. I love that, Melinda. That you are being such a great example for everybody right now. That you knew, you felt it. That was your intuition. You actually did get called, and you're recognizing that intuitive moment. You're recognizing that intuitive hit. And yeah, somebody might say, "Oh, well, there's so much randomness in this, and this is just a small thing." Doesn't matter, big or small. Intuition is there. Big, medium, small, whatever. I love that. I don't know why, but it is so cool, Melinda says. Well, maybe that's your message. How cool your intuition is. What would you like to know today, my dear? What guidance do you seek and what kind of reading would you like? I would love an energy reading about that. About what? Intuition? About trusting my intuition. Okay, energy it is then. Wow. Okay. So the biggest hit I got is for throat chakra. And I'm getting this image of somebody who's been deep in thought, and then they sort of raise their hand as though they're like about to say something, like, oh, by the way, like an oh, by the way, oh, by the way. So this is interesting. I like this. Let's see. Deep in thought. Oh, by the way, deep in thought. Oh, by the way, but it's not quite, it's like the flow of that process isn't quite complete. So the piece that's missing is the right after the oh, by the way, actually stating, actually saying. So the sense that I'm getting, Melinda, is okay, hold on, there's more coming. My goodness, your heart is very, what is this? It's I was gonna say full, but it's something else. There's like a bubbling over energy in your heart space, Melinda. There's like a like how hot water bubbles up from the ground kind of thing. I'm trying to think of like in Yosemite or something. Yeah, like hot or sulfur water, whatever. And there's this it's really vibrant. There's an activeness to it. And I feel like this is your wow, I feel like okay, I'm seeing okay, I'm getting it now. So your heart is really engaged with your intuition, like really powerfully so. Like so much is just bubbling up, right? And so just different intuitive hits, different intuitive feelings, different sensings, they're all just bubbling up. And it could be very overwhelming, right? And so you have that part in your throat where you're kind of like, oh, by the way, and then you're stopping short of actually stating it, expressing it, sharing it. So it feels like in order for this to come full circle, you're being your your energy is wanting to complete the cycle, and the cycle being intuitive hit, intuitive sensing, intuitive feeling bubbles up, you note it mentally, and then you state it or express it or speak it, quote unquote, in some way. And by speaking it, you're honoring it. You're not just recognizing it, you're honoring it, and in some way you're putting your intention and your faith in it as being real for you in that moment. And then when you're doing that, you're letting your energy and you're letting the universe know, I feel you, I see you, I recognize you, I declare you, and that you puts you in sort of that cyclical nature, because that, yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. Puts you in this cyclical flow of working with one intuitive hit at a time, recognizing it or feeling it, recognizing it with the mind, stating it. You don't have to say it out loud, but sure, why not? Say it out loud. I just saw an angel number and I got a vibe that it means I'm not alone, or I got a vibe that means all is well, right? So really making that connection, stating it, putting it out into the universe, that lets the universe know that you are following the full cycle, and that makes you able, it's practicing that spiritual muscle of intuition. I think we could all do this actually. But just exercising that spiritual muscle of intuition, right? The feeling it, the recognizing it with the mind, the seeing it with the mind, and then the stating of it through the throat, right? And that creates that cyclical flow so that you're ready to receive the next intuitive sensing feeling hit, right? And then you can just get on a roll with it. How is that? How is that feeling? Where's my mouse? There it is. Joanne says this amazing intuition is coming up for me all the time. My intuition has always been good, but I definitely feel like I need to work on it more. Intuition linked to higher self? Absolutely, Saeed. Higher self is just a part of who we are, our connection to source, and intuition is absolutely that. I agree with that. A geyser, Belinda. Yeah, you have a geyser of intuitive things going on in your heart. Carrie, wow, a lot of the same readings regarding oneness. Whoa. Yeah, different approaches and perspectives on our oneness. I love that, Carrie. Melinda, this is such amazing advice. I recorded it and we'll listen to it over and over. Wow, thank you so very much. You are welcome, my dear friend. Saeed says, why, when I close my eyes, lovely feelings go through my body, flow from my head to rest of my body. It's natural. I think everybody experiences energy in their own unique way, Saeed. If it feels really lovely to you, then I would say yes, it's natural. It might be that you are opening to your connection to your higher self and to source a little bit more, and that is your uh, current in the moment present experience of it. Melinda says, I got a similar message about my heart the other day. Also, I have described how I've been feeling as bubbly. That's so funny. I can feel you being bubbly right now. I can feel you being bubbly. I love this for you, Melinda. This is awesome. Yeah. So that's that. And we've got time for one more. Thank you, Melinda. Thank you for being an example for all of us, allowing me to sort of sift and sort through that question to come up with what I think is a real cool little spiritual muscle exercise, you know. I mean, and this is true of anything, right? Let's think about it for a moment. Let's say you're having an interaction with another person, and in the moment, something happens and you don't feel so good about it, right? You feel it, you recognize it, what it is, right? So you feel it, and what's the next step in recognition? Well, you stop for a moment, you go, is this mine or is this other person's? I'm suddenly feeling fearful. Well, this person is talking about a situation that they're in, recognizing it, then evaluating it in the right way, not analyzing it with judgment or anything, but is this mine or is this theirs? Is this mine? Is this hereditary? Something I learned from my parents? Or is this something of theirs? Oh, it's theirs. Okay, then I say it. This is theirs. Not necessarily out loud to them, but when we can do something, when we can follow the flow like that, we can follow a process like that, and the flow of that energy from feeling to recognizing and evaluating, and then stating it, even internally or externally. What happens in a situation like that where we're having a difficult personal interaction? Maybe it allows us to be more compassionate with that person because suddenly we realize that's their fear. I'm actually not scared about anything in this moment. Why did I feel afraid? Because we're connected, because of the oneness. They're feeling afraid, and maybe they're not expressing it. And maybe suddenly there's the opportunity for you to say, oh, dear one, friend, are you feeling afraid? Or you could say, wow, that sounds really scary. How are you feeling? And suddenly, when you are really listening to this intuitive hit, and then following this process of feeling, seeing, recognizing, and declaring, right? You're then being able to be of loving spiritual service to this other individual. And they might look at you and start crying. They might look at you saying, gosh, now that you mention it, I didn't realize it, but yeah, I'm terrified. I love this example. And even on a smaller level, this happened the other day. I was out at the grocery store with my one friend, and and unbeknownst to me, he had said that he would get a drink for his wife. And we're in the store and we leave it. And he suddenly says, oh, darn, I was supposed to get a drink for my wife. And I was like, get out, you're kidding. Because there were 3 times while we were in the store that I felt like saying to him, hey, are you getting something for your wife? And I didn't. That's intuition, and that's not declaring it. I'm just trying to read what you guys are saying. A similar message on the heart today. Yep, the bubbly go flow. All right. Melinda said it's weird. I only recently made that switch after many years of being so worried. I love this for you. Even though my brother is in the ICU and I'm worried about him, of course it is. amazing when you make that shift. I'm so very grateful to you, Greg. Well, thank you to you, Melinda. I'm glad I can be of service. Kimmy says, when I get an intuitive hit, it can be a surprise. What was that? Recognizing, oh, everything scrolled by. There it is. Recognizing and acceptance. Yeah, yeah. It could be a pleasant surprise. Gary, I get fear more often than I want or like. Yeah, it may be somebody else's, Gary. May not be yours. Heidi says maybe they're in denial and defense mechanisms are activated as well. They can be very uncomfortable. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Hannah says, I used to use that technique when I worked with people that suffered mental health struggles. Yeah, recognition of the feelings before speaking. Yeah, but it's a cycle, right? Because if at any moment we shut that down, like in the example of the store with me and my friend, um, like of course it ended up the way that it was supposed to end up, and that's fine. But in that moment, I realized it was okay to not say something, but I could have also said something. And so by saying something, who knows how the rest of our morning would have unfolded? We don't know. We can't go back and relive that necessarily. But yes, all right. One more spin of the wheel and let's see what we get. This is good stuff, guys. Thank you so much for being here. You guys help make this possible. You guys bring all the energy. I just hold the space for us. But you guys hold the space too. Hannah with the glasses. Are you still here? Yes, you are. You just commented. Hannah with the glasses is here, is ready. You are the next one up, my dear. Yay, Hannah. Do you say Hannah? Hannah? I don't know. I guess it depends on where you're from in the world. Hannah, Hannah. You knew it. There you go. And you just declared, you felt the intuitive hit, you recognized it, and you declared it. I love it. I need to write that down. Feel it, recognize it, declare it. Somebody remind me of that somewhere. Let's put it right in chat. At any moment that we are stuffing it down, if we're stuffing the feeling, if we're stuffing or stopping the recognition, if we're stuffing or stopping the declaring, we are literally stopping, cutting off, or greatly diminishing the flow of that energy, because who knows where it can come on. And the most important thing, if you don't do one of those three things, don't worry about it. The intuition is so abundant. It just keeps coming. It just keeps coming. It may not happen this one time because it's not supposed to, because you're supposed to just recognize it and not declare it. So don't make us think about it. Don't get upset. Don't go into judgment. Oh, I didn't say something. I do that sometimes. I see somebody I'm attracted to and I'm like, then I don't go up and say hi and therefore whatever. And I go home and I think, oh, I didn't get a date with that woman because I didn't say anything. Whatever. Don't judge ourselves over it. I like the way you pronounce my name. Hannah or Hannah? Hannah. I like Hannah, but I sometimes I say Hannah. I have a general question about my music. Okay. Go ahead and type it, my dear. And what kind of reading do you want? You know, I might just make Fridays or me. How do I want to do this? I love doing the extravaganza. I love giving you guys a choice, but I also think that it might be fun to just do like one live of channeled messages or something like that. You want an energy reading, general question about your music. Tell me a little bit about your music, please. What kind of music are you playing? Are you composing? What do you play? What type of music do you like to participate in? Well, you write that. I'll tap in. Oh, my music has been flowing through me. I do covers and originals. Okay. Give me what instruments you use, please. I don't know why, but I feel like that's important. Feeling slash seeing a guitar and a flute. I don't know why. What are you doing? Keyboard, piano. Okay. Well, I'm still seeing a guitar and a flute, so I guess the instruments didn't necessarily matter. All right, let's see what this is. Interesting. I'm getting a feeling as though there's many, many instruments in your heart, and the instruments don't necessarily, this isn't necessarily literal. Oh, your ex-husband played guitar. We don't play music or talk anymore. Interesting. So I'm just going to go with this sort of this whole orchestra sort of a feel. And I'm getting the intuitive hit again that this is about oneness, right? So if we think about an individual instrument, we're so you're doing keyboard and piano, your husband was playing guitar. It, yeah, there's a way in which, so this is interesting. So I have this whole sense of like a ton of instruments in a room, almost aligned or set up in a stage like an orchestra, but the guitar and the flute are sort of standing separate from the bigger group. So it's almost as though the guitar and the flute are sort of existing within the myth of separation rather than the oneness of the entirety of the orchestra, right? And oh goodness, I'm feeling a lot of loneliness when I focus on the guitar. Ah, it's a really lonely guitar. It's so sad. Hmm. It's so sad, Hannah. You're very isolated. Okay. But your music connects you, doesn't it? Your music helps you feel the connection to the whole. Hmm. Okay, my friend, we'll just do a quick, we don't have a lot of time, so we're just going to have to start the beginning of this, but hopefully it will help you. I left my husband because of domestic violence. Okay. So, like I said, this guitar isn't literal, but this guitar is symbolic for the loneliness and the aloneness and the sadness. And I want you to picture yourself, if you're a visual type person, if you're not, try to sense being standing in the middle of this orchestratic display, if you can call it that. You're standing in the center of this orchestra of just an abundance of different instruments that when when they are manned, when people are using them, they do contribute to the whole of the music. And I just want you to stand there. You're in a spotlight and you're hearing the music, but your entire attention is on this guitar that's sort of off to the side. It's kind of off to the side on the stage. And I want you to just bring a curious mindfulness to just be the observer and the witness. And I want you to look at that guitar from the distance. No judgment, no stories, no analysis, no evaluation. Just be the observer and just look at the guitar. Tell us about the qualities of the guitar. Tell us about the tone of the strings. Tell us about the coloring of the wood, the shape of it. Is it electric guitar? Is it acoustic? Is it perhaps something uniquely different than those? And what is it, Hannah? I want you to make a real investigation of that guitar. And as you do so, take a step towards it. continuing to observe it, continuing to describe it in your mind. You do not have to tell us in chat. Okay, it's acoustic. And just take another step towards it, Hannah. And another one. And we all are here with you. All 120 of us are here supporting you as you go on this small little energetic journey. And just continue one step at a time to walk closer and closer to this guitar. And as you do so, you can begin to feel the enormity of the sadness and the loneliness that this guitar symbolizes. And when you get within arm's reach, stop for a moment. And with as much compassion as you can muster, just look at this guitar and listen to its lonely song. And just think, I've been ignoring you. I'm sorry. Thank you for your song. Please forgive me. And I want you to reach out to this guitar and pick it up, strap it on, and even if you don't know how to play, in this moment you realize that you do know how to play guitar. And you begin to strum in unison with the lonely song that the lonely guitar was playing. And just let it be okay, Hannah. Just let it be okay. It's okay to feel lonely. It's okay to be alone right now. It's okay to have a sad, lonely song. And realize, my dear friend, that this is just simply a part of your entire orchestra. Perhaps it's a part that you've pushed away for a little while. Perhaps it's not been too long. But as you play, I just want you to sink into the song, embrace the song, allow the song to be without needing to change it, shift it, or make it any different, better, or worse. Excellent. Excellent. Really good. And then as the song comes to a close, I encourage you to carry the guitar back to the center where all the other pieces of instruments are and find the place where the guitar stand is empty. Give the guitar a real long, loving look. Caress it if you want, hold it closely, and then as you are ready, place it in its stand back with the rest of the orchestra. That's beautiful. Thank you. And then when you're ready, come on back to us, Hannah. Wow. How are you feeling, my dear? Thank you for being vulnerable with all of us. I appreciate you sharing your energy. Yeah. Embrace it, my friend. Allow it to be exactly as it is without following the impulse or the urge to change it, to shift it, make it different. Just to let it be, let it be, let it be. If Rhonda were here, she'd start singing the Beatles song. I know you're okay. I'm just checking. Just checking. There's a lot more there, Hannah. Perhaps for another reading, or if you feel so called in private. But yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. But wonderful, wonderful work on that energy journey. I commend you. I applaud you, and I thank you for your courage and your vulnerability. And my friends, we're slightly past time. Oh, what a great live today. I hope you all got something out of it. If you came in late and you want to see the rest of it, I will have it up on YouTube in a couple hours. And the way that you can find it is really simple. Just go to the About tab on my Insight Timer Teacher's profile, scroll all the way down to the bottom after the bio, and there is my link, yegreg.com. And all my links are there. It's my link tree actually. So you can check out what I'm doing out there, or just follow and get notified for the next live. I think that I have some scheduled already next week. Let me see what I have on the schedule. And we're at 501 followers. Thank you. That has been a milestone that I've been really looking forward to. Yay. Okay, I have to do something special for 500. I'm going to come up with something special for next week for 500. So one of the lives might shift in order to celebrate that. But yay. Thank you. I so appreciate that, my friends. Let me see what I have for next week's schedule. So we're doing the extravaganza again on Wednesday, 3 p.m. Mountain Time, which is also 5 p.m. New York City time. And then I have a Friday at 3 p.m. Mountain. That's supposed to be energy readings, but my intuition is saying that that's going to be the 500 celebration. I have to come up with something. So that gives me some time. And then again, readings extravaganza next week, a week from now, for the Saturday, July the 6th. Also, I want to let you guys know to check out Violet 108. We've started doing these group teacher lives where a bunch of teachers come together on Zoom. She hosts it, and we're doing this amazing collab. It was so much fun when we did the last one last week. You can ask us questions about anything, about spiritual stuff, about our paths, whatever. I'm also going to be doing an Ask Me Anything, an Ask Greg Q&A sometime this month. I haven't scheduled it yet. But yeah, there's great stuff coming. And yeah, the next thing with Violet, let me see. It's gonna be Saturday the 13th. Unfortunately, it's pretty early in the morning for some of those folks in the future. So like Joanne and Kimmy and Peta. Sorry, I don't have control over when she scheduled it, but I think check out her profile for that event. She's calling it Ask Your Guides. So that's all the news that's fit to print from Lake Utah, which I literally am living near a Lake Utah. So, anyways, what are you guys saying? Yay, thank you. Yay for us. Our beautiful community is growing. God bless you all too, Saeed. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Tatiana. Yay. It's all of you guys are making it possible. I'm so excited. I'm really hoping I can do I'll reach 1,000 followers before December. Well, before Christmas, let's put it that way. I started the middle of December last year, and reaching 1,000 before then would be pretty awesome. Melinda, thank you again. She says so much for this beautiful reading. You were more than welcome. Thank you to everybody who donated. I celebrate and honor your sharing your abundance with me. I so appreciate it. It's so fun for me, and it really, really helps support my business. And for that, I'm just happy to participate and sharing the abundance as well. Much love, Tatiana says, and gratitude. Thank you so much. All right, guys, I've got to go eat because now I'm hungry after having all those, what did I call them? Kolaches. Yeah. Much love to all of you. Have a lovely evening or rest of your day if you live in the future. I am so glad to know you and have met you. And if we haven't met or if you haven't spoke up, I'm just really glad you're here because even if you're here and you don't say a darn thing, you contribute to this space energetically and from your heart. And for that, I am eternally grateful. So much love to all of you. You're welcome, Hannah. That was a beautiful reading. Yes, absolutely. All right. I will see you guys all next time, either at one of my lives or somebody else's. Do take care. Bye-bye.